Hey, Shani from SpeedCubeReview.com. So I just unboxed this 2x2x3 tower cube from Chi, and there was a couple things that I kind of got stuck on, so I looked up some algorithms, and I really didn't like any of the tutorials out there, so I thought I'd make my own. And really, there's only one algorithm you need to know. The rest is pretty intuitive. There's a couple things that could be called algorithms I'll show you, but the big algorithm is switching these two corners. And I figured it out in an intuitive way. What I did was I brought these two up and moved one out and put that back. And then I moved it 90 degrees, brought it up and switched it once more. And then moved it back 90 degrees, paired it up and brought it down. So that algorithm that switches those two, it does some other stuff. It actually swaps diagonally there. But this algorithm is R2U, R2U, R2, U prime, R2U, R2U, R2. And that switches those two. And that's going to be really all you need to know. So let's sort of scramble this up, and then we'll talk about that. One thing about scrambling it is that U and D moves can be 90 degrees. R, F, L, and B are 180. And if you turn it 90 degrees, it locks the whole thing up. So yeah, so it has to be 180 degrees. And most algorithms will just have R or F instead of R2 and F2. I'm going to say and write out R2, things like that, because I feel like for someone starting out or just looking at this from a 3x3 point of view, it makes more sense to see it as an R2 instead of an R. But, okay, first thing you need to do is solve the center, this little middle part. And it's pretty straightforward. You'll either have it where you either just have to do 180 degree, or you'll have something where it's completely mixed up and you'll have to do like an F2 and R2. Oh, nope, there we go. R2, F2, R2. But that's pretty intuitive there. From there, then I figure out what color needs to be on what side. So looking at this, I've got red and then green, which means white has to be on top. So this is, again, kind of an intuitive step that I've got white here and white there. So what I need to do, move that there, so when I bring this down, it pairs it up. And then I bring it back up. Now, whenever you're pairing pieces like that, after you've made the center, you only want to move one side, meaning I did L2, D, L2. Well, that was actually D prime. Because if you do, let's say, L2 and then do like an R2 or something like that, it's going to flip the middle. So now, instead of white on top, because of the way this is set up, I need yellow on top. So we'll do yellow on top now, but again, if I move R2, I want to do an R2 again. There we go. And now we are left with this final algorithm. Now, there's a few cases you'll have with doing that algorithm I showed. So I'm going to set up just the first one. So the first case is where you have a bar, or let's say headlights. I'm going to call this headlights, where you have headlights on one side and no headlights on another. When you have that, put on the bottom, face to the left, and do that algorithm. R2U, R2U, R2, U prime, R2U, R2U, R2. And you're done. If you have anything else, you're going to have to do the algorithm 2 or at most 3 times. So let's go over the 2 times. So the first time you'll do the algorithm, we'll set up a bar on bottom and the swap on top. And then, of course, the algorithm will fix it. So for example, with this, if I do the algorithm, no matter what this top layer is like, it's going to leave a bar somewhere. Because when you have headlights and you do an opposite swap, it's going to leave headlights somewhere else. The bottom layer, I want to make sure that this is an opposite swap in the end. So I'll put it so the bar is on right, and then do that algorithm. And then we're left with a bar and nothing, or headlights and nothing. There we go. So another case you can have is where everything's solved, but you have an opposite swap up here. Well, all we need to do is put that on bottom, do that algorithm. What that does was make these opposite, and then turn this into having headlights, and then do that algorithm one more time. So really the last case you can have is where there's no headlights anywhere, and for this case you'd have to do it 3 times. Once, one will match all of this up and then leave you with headlights. And then you can do it again. So put that in front. Which will give me headlights still, and opposite. And then solve from there. So it can all be solved with that same algorithm. Now, if I am actually trying to solve this for real, I probably wouldn't just make the first face at random, because if you have opposite swaps on both sides, that's going to take the longest. So what I'll probably do is first just solve the center, then from there, solve it to at least having one pair. So I see this one is set, so I don't really have to worry too much. So I've got a bar and nothing, and then I can solve the rest from there. But that's it. One algorithm will solve it all, and that's all you need. And I'm sure there's other methods, other algorithms might be a little bit simpler, but this is kind of how I did it intuitively. So thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by speedcubereview.com for more news and reviews. There we go. 2x2 by 2x2 by 3 tower cube.